The greatest need of the hour. August 15, 2014. Each and every one of us has been preparing for this moment for lifetimes. This is the time referred to, in one way or another, by every world religion. It is known as the time of screaming and the gnashing of teeth. Do you have any doubt about that? If so, just turn on the news and witness the atrocities human beings are actually willing to inflict on other human beings. These horrific and astonishing behavior patterns are being inflicted by the very basest level of consciousness associated with humanity's fear-based human egos. This lowly aspect of humanity's personality is the last vestige of our fall from Christ consciousness, and it is fighting tooth and nail to maintain the power it usurped from us when we fell from grace eons ago. This fragmented and fear-based aspect of our fallen consciousness does not understand that it is being given the opportunity to ascend into the light, and that it is being loved into a higher order of being. It thinks it is being destroyed, and it is doing everything in its power to wreak havoc in the world so that humanity and the earth will not be able to complete our ascension into the fifth-dimensional frequencies of the new earth. This is an entirely futile effort. But that does not mean that humanity's fallen human egos cannot exacerbate the negativity from the old earth that is surfacing to be transmuted back into light, thus causing more pain and suffering than is necessary in this purging process. This is where you and I and the millions of other people on the planet, who are awakening to the realization that we are one, and that there is no separation, come into the picture. Our lifetime's worth of training, at both inner and outer levels of consciousness, were not so that we would just wring our hands in anguish and despair, feeling horrified and helpless at what we are witnessing. Quite the contrary. Our training was preparing us for this very moment, so that in the face of the most horrific atrocities and unfathomable pain and suffering, we would be able to rise above the chaos and stay focused on the light. Our intense preparation gave each of us the strength, courage, skill, ability, and willingness to hold the sacred space for humanity's return to Christ consciousness. It was not intended that we would hold the space for just awakening light workers to return to Christ consciousness. The divine intent of our lifetime's worth of training was that we would hold the sacred space for even our most destructive and recalcitrant brothers and sisters in the family of humanity, until they awakened enough to return to Christ consciousness through their own endeavors. Remember, we are one. This means that we are all interconnected, interdependent, and interrelated. What affects one of us affects all of us. We are in this together. There is no such thing as us and them. If any of us are going to return to Christ consciousness and complete our ascension into the fifth-dimensional frequencies of light associated with the new earth, then every man, woman, and child on earth must do the same. It is all of us or none. But, fortunately, due to the miracles that have taken place over the past few years, none is no longer an option. We are all moving forward in the light and there is no turning back. The only variable is how long this will take, and how easy or difficult this process is going to be. And that, precious heart, is up to you and me. The greatest need of the hour is for you and me to assist ourselves and our sisters and brothers in the family of humanity to return to Christ consciousness. This may seem like a monumental or maybe even an impossible endeavor, but that is an illusion. The I Am presence of every person on earth is standing in readiness awaiting the opportunity to complete humanity's return to Christ consciousness, which is the next critical facet of the divine plan. Contrary to outer appearances, the God-victorious accomplishment of humanity's return to Christ consciousness is just a breath away. To comprehend the full magnitude of what returning to Christ consciousness will mean for each of us individually, and all of us collectively, we must know that Christ consciousness is the enlightened state of consciousness we were invested with by our Father Mother God when we were first breathed forth from the core of creation. This level of consciousness empowered us with the ability to easily communicate with our Father Mother God, our I Am presence, and the beings of light in the realms of illumined truth, through open heart and mind telepathic communication. In that state of consciousness, we realized the oneness of all life. we perpetually functioned from the heart-centered space of reverence for life with a divine intent of co-creating the highest good for all concerned with every thought, feeling, word, and action we expressed. After our fall from grace, we descended into such discordant frequencies of separation and duality that we lost Christ consciousness, and the ability to communicate with the realms of truth. For eons of time, our human egos manipulated us into believing that the physical plane is all that exists and that our physical body is all that we are. But now, due to unprecedented activities of light that have taken place over the past few decades, everything has changed. The masses of humanity have reached a critical mass that is allowing every person's I Am Presence access to his or her mental and emotional bodies in ways we have not experienced since the fall. This divine intervention has cleared the way for every person on earth to return to Christ consciousness with far greater ease. In response to this wondrous opportunity, the Company of Heaven has revealed life-transforming and vitally important information that will bring a level of clarity beyond anything we previously understood about how we lost Christ consciousness and what the process is now for our return to Christ consciousness. These selfless messengers of God have also taught us incredibly powerful processes that will help each and every one of us to return to Christ consciousness. The beings of light have also clearly demonstrated how we can assist all of our sisters and brothers in the family of humanity to do the same. In order to make this vitally important information and the powerful processes that will accelerate humanity's return to Christ consciousness accessible to anyone who is interested, we have produced a set of 2 CDs or 2 MP3 downloads that you can order on our website www.eraofpeace.org. The Company of Heaven has encouraged us to make this extremely important information available on CDs and MP3s at this time for the following reason. They have explained that there is a great advantage when people around the world use the same CDs or MP3s to implement the tools given to humanity. When people use the same CDs or MP3s to invoke the visualizations, meditations, affirmations, and decrees given to us by the Company of Heaven, a thought form is created that builds in momentum day after day because the invocations are being made in exactly the same way every time the CDs or MP3s are played. Every time anyone on the planet listens to the CDs or MP3s and uses the tools and processes, the thought form expands exponentially. In addition to that phenomenon, the Company of Heaven has been granted a cosmic dispensation by our Father Mother God that allows them to amplify our endeavors 1,000 times 1,000-fold on a daily basis during this unprecedented cosmic moment on Earth. This will accelerate humanity's efforts to return to Christ consciousness in miraculous ways. Patricia Cota-Robles. www.eraofpeace.org